guys, it's Monet with Tech Life, and today I want to talk about what to do now that you're graduating and you can apply for positions. I know you're excited. I've been there. It was like the weight was lifted, the door was open, and I was walking into freedom. That freedom was a paycheck. Well, this is what I have learned over the years, and I honestly wish somebody would have said these things to me when I was going and applying and meeting with principals and just really going to the drawing board of starting my career in education. The first thing that I would say to do is zone in. Figure out, where do you want to teach? What district? What schools in those districts? Think about recommendations or things you've heard from people that you trust, maybe in your program or in the school that you were studying in, that you were student teaching in. Also, you can think about, where do you live? Okay, proximity. What is close? What is in your area? Especially if you live in a crowded city like I do. Think about your commute every day. Think about the cost of gas. All of these things should sadly be on your mind. I know you're excited. You want to put your bulletin boards together. You want to make all your cute cubbies and all that. I got you. I hear you, right? But really think about your drive and where you're going to be for 10 months, right? So once you figure out maybe like your top 5 or your top 10 schools, figure out what districts they're located in. I say that because during this time of the year, a lot of districts have what we call job fairs. You could check their websites, and again, you may hear these things in your program at your school, or somebody might tell you. There might be commercials in your area, who knows. But at this job fair, this is where you're gonna have all of those schools, all of those principals in one location, and you can sell yourself. Yes, I say sell. You can sell yourself and present yourself to people to see about possibly getting a position. Now, a lot of times there is a time frame, right? So that's why it's so important to know your top 5 schools or your top 10 schools, so that when you get into that environment where you have that wonderful opportunity of putting a face to the name, you know exactly where you want to go, instead of standing there wondering, wasting your time at schools that may not even have a position open. So that's why it's so important you know your 5 to 10 schools. You've gone on the website, the county website or the school website, to see what positions they have a need for. So again, you may want to teach at Rivers Edge Elementary or Stonecrest High. I'm just making up names, okay? But if they don't have a position that is in your certification, or if they don't have a position that you truly desire, don't waste your time standing to talk to that principal or meet with that assistant principal. Don't waste your time with that, okay? Now, if you're flexible, great. But if you really know you want a 3rd grade position, a 2nd grade position, a 9th grade position, or I really want to do A, B, and C, or I'm only certified for A, B, and C, look into that before the job fair. All right, so you've chosen your 5 to 10 schools. You've looked into job fairs. Now, let's say job fairs are not available in your area. That's totally fine. You know your 5 to 10 schools. You go to that district website. You go to that school website. You fill out an application. That's step number 1 always. Once you have the application in, figure out who is the principal, who is the assistant principal, and who are the instructional coaches. I always throw instructional coaches in there because they're a part of that administration circle. So when a position is open, a lot of times they're going to know, and they're going to be a part of that interviewing process as well. So you've put in your application. Now you're going to send an email introducing yourself. So think about like a cover letter, okay? You're emailing an introduction. Hi, my name is Monet Mike. I saw that you have a 2nd grade position open at your school. I believe I'm qualified for this position because of A, B, C, and D. I would love to join your community. If we could talk about this, and I would love the opportunity to talk with you in person about this opportunity. This is my contact information. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Sincerely, your name, okay? And so when you do that, you narrow the pot, because when you put in an application, you're joining a pot of 50, 100, 75, who knows? I don't know. But you're just a number. But when you send that email and you become personal with the administration staff, now you're on their mind. You can do this before the job fair. If they don't have a job fair, again, it's okay. You still want to take this step. This really makes it personal. I've even gone a step further when I was really desperate, and it was kind of like the middle of the year. I actually took my resume, a cover letter, and I even had like examples of like a lesson plan, and we'll get into that in a minute, but I had an example of like some type of work that I've done as a teacher. If you're a brand new teacher, it can be pulled from your student teaching experience. And I've gone to the school and I said, hi, my name is so-and-so. I just want to drop this off to the principal. Is the principal available to speak with? If they are, I shake their hand, I talk to them a little bit. If they're not available, I leave it with the secretary. A lot of times I like for this folder to be yellow. I know it's like a random color, but yellow is alerting. So if it does get put in a pile, you'll see it. If it's black, it sometimes isn't seen. If it's white, it gets dirty. If it's red, it looks urgent. So I don't like to do red, but I do like to do yellow or orange because it just stands out. Okay, that's just my preference. You could put in a black professional folder. That's up to you. But again, you can either go the email route or the personal route depending on your timing or your situation or just your personal preference. So let's go back to step one. You've zoned into 5 to 10 schools that you really want to teach at. You've looked to see if they even have positions at those schools that you qualify for. You've looked to see if they have a job fair. And if they have a job fair, again, you're prepared, right? Because you know the position and you know the schools that you're going to, okay? You've applied to the district or the school. You've sent an email to introduce yourself to the administration staff. Look, if you do these things, you're going to get a job, okay? You're going to get a job. Don't worry. It's a teacher shortage right now. You're going to get a job, okay? So after you've done those things, this is what I also want to mention because it has made a difference in my hiring process, okay? During the time of my marriage, I was actually a military spouse, so we did move quite a bit. So I've had my time of interviews, okay? And so I've kind of learned the lingo in the process and what really helps to get you a job and get a job quickly, okay? So the next thing that I want to say or suggest to you is appearance, okay? Number one, inside, let it come out. You have to be confident. You know what you're doing to a certain extent because you're just graduating. And I promise you what you think is like is not what it's really like, but it's still going to be an awesome experience. But be confident in yourself. Really believe and trust that you're ready. You're ready for whatever that next chapter has in store for you. Okay? And also, when it comes to appearance, I know some people like to do the black and white. You cannot go wrong with black and white. That's very professional. But in my experience, I've actually been complimented, that's the word, on wearing colors. Not bright colors, but just colors that kind of express a positive energy. I've done soft pinks, I've done lavenders, and again, I may have on a black business suit, but I just have, instead of a white shirt, I do a color shirt. Just to kind of help me to stand out, especially if you're going to a job fair, because I promise in that room, there will be 100 teachers and you want to stand out. If it's not your smile, if it's not your energy, it can be a color. And you still want to be professional, but you don't have to do the whole black and white. During my my first year interview process, there was a principal that actually complimented me on my smile. During my interview, he said, wow, I really like your smile and I feel like your positive energy would fit very well at our school. And I was actually hired and I accepted it. It was a great opportunity. So those little things that we don't really think about that can help sell us or present us to those principals, they do make a difference. They can help to kind of get you over the nudge or to make you memorable. The one thing that you don't want to be is forgettable, okay? Because then you just kind of go into that pile. But you've emailed, you have a positive energy, you're confident, you have on a color maybe, okay? Stay away from patterns. I did not say go buy cheetah, okay? Stay away from the leopard print. Gentlemen, stay away from, the animated ties. I didn't say all of that. I just said, have a little pop of color. Okay. So, another thing that I would suggest that you do is after you have an in-person interview, anytime you talk directly to an administrator, always follow up within 3 days. I like to follow up the next day. That's just me. But within 3 days, send an email just saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. I talked to you on such dates at such place about this position. I really am grateful for your time. I look forward to speaking with you further regarding this opportunity. Continue to have a great day. Your name. And then sometimes, I know I probably should have mentioned this before, sometimes you can have a quote. Think about an educational quote that kind of speaks to what you believe as a teacher. I have a quote. It's the Frederick Douglass's quote, it's easier to build strong kids than to repair broken men. It's something like that, but that really stuck to me. And so just basically saying, pour into little ones now so that our future tomorrow can be greater. And you just never know. People kind of get a feel about who you are and what you stand for through quotes. You don't have to have a quote, but I personally have a quote just to kind of, again, let people know who I am, because you really do want to make a wise choice about where you're going to be spending your next 10 months and maybe even be there for years to come, right? Like, we all know that one teacher that taught us in elementary school, like, you still go to the elementary school, they're still there. Yeah, that could possibly be you. If you really find the right school, the right community, then you can grow and flourish there. So you want to make a wise decision, a very informed decision. And lastly, so when you talk to these principals and they're asking you all of these questions, this is my suggestion. It happened to me, and I'm going to tell you. They may ask you about programs that you've never used or taught with. They may use lingo, words, abbreviations that you're really unsure about. And you know us. You know us. We don't really like to admit that we don't know what the heck you're talking about. Say, I would like to answer this question to the best of my ability. Can you tell me a little bit about this program? I'm not familiar with Lucy Calkins' reading workshop. Can you tell me about it? And then when they give you a description about it, then you can say, well, I haven't used Lucy Calkins' reading workshop, but I have done this before, and this was the results of that. And so what that does, number one, if you should be hired, they already know you do not know Lucy Calkins. You need to be trained, right? And then also it lets them know that you do have a sense of those key components that they want to see inside of their classroom. So that way you're not putting on this false impression. You're not giving this false information, and don't play like you know. If you don't know, let people know, I don't know what that is. Like, people used to say F and P. What is F and P? F and P is Fontes and Pinnell. That's Georgia lingo. I don't know other people, but I had to literally ask one interview, what's F and P? And then they said Fontes and Pinnell. I was like, oh, okay, I know that. So don't be ashamed to say I'm not familiar with this, to ask for an example or more details, and you have the power to ask questions. They always ask you at the very end, hey, we really enjoyed interviewing you today. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, you do. Okay, and if you don't, it's fine. But now it's your turn to really get an understanding of what this school stands for. What are they really looking for in a teacher? What are their expectations? Because you want to know, am I a good candidate? If they have deadlines that you know you cannot meet, if they have standards and expectations that you don't really believe in. I've actually had a principal say, we don't allow our female staff to wear sneakers. Right, okay? So this opens the door for you to now see, is this the best fit for me? Because again, you want to make a great choice that you can possibly stay at that school and have a successful first year, see what type of support will be available to you. I know I've come into positions where it's like you're going to be the only ELA teacher because it's departmentalized, or you only have a grade chair and da-da-da-da. So as a first year teacher, it's always important to know that there is a support system there for you outside of administration, because their administration, they may not be in the building, they may be busy. I'm not going to make this video long. So if you have questions about something that I have talked about, leave them down below. You better bet I have a question of the day. But if you have a question about something that I've mentioned and you may want more detail, leave that down below, okay? And so I am going to end this video with sharing this summer in Atlanta. If you have not seen, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this. But I want to let you know about this great conference that I will be presenting at this summer called Teaching to the Core. You don't want to miss this one-day jam-packed, awesome experience for teachers, especially new teachers. It's going to really get to the core of dissecting standards, innovative teacher strategies, classroom management, transitions. I mean, anything you could think of, it will be discussed. It is specifically for K-6. So make sure you've looked into it, you've gotten your ticket, and you're going to be there. You don't want to miss it. The website is on the screen. Check it out, okay? And so I hope that everyone has enjoyed the day. This is what I am going to ask, because I do know I have some teachers that look at my videos that are not brand new. If there is a tip that you have for teachers looking to get a job for the upcoming school year, what is that tip? Leave that down below. Okay, so that's my question. What is your tip for a teacher that's trying to get a job? I hope you enjoyed today's video. Go ahead, click subscribe so you can see my weekly videos, and go ahead and like today's video if you found it helpful. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to putting up next week's video, and I can't wait to talk to you guys down below. I'll see you next week. Tick on.